see a boss trying to, make me do shady things and
Yes.
want me to and I'm just a young person in the workplace. I want
Yeah.
to do some shady things. Number one, I go back to my origin. That if I do this shady thing now, how
Yeah.
will I teach the younger people coming behind me how to do this thing? The only experience that will be in my database will be the
Yeah.
shady things I also did. Right. So that will affect how I'm going to teach the younger guys. That will be the point where I'm going to have to be very diplomatic. Now,
Uh-huh.
because I like Sasoji wrote in the article, because you don't want to just show, oh, I'm a good boy, I'm not going to do it, so that you don't lose out on opportunities as well. This is where I have to take a pause and now evaluate the situation. What are the stakes here? If I say no, which I am obviously going to say, right? What are the
Yeah.
stakes? Number one, I can get demoted. Number two, I can become a searchlight to the people in terms of bypassing me for any other thing, since they already know that, oh, this guy is one guy that is going to be a bottleneck to us. At this point, I'm going to hold on to my values, not just because I want to hold on to value, I want to be a good guy, but because of where I'm going to. Where I'm going to is more important than where I am right now. And that in itself will allow me to take a pause and identify evaluate the stakes at hand, and create risk, do risk, reduce the risk that can be attached to it. The truth is that the journey between where I am now and where I want to be is a decision. In between is risk management. I have to just manage the risks to make, but what is important right now is the goal I want to achieve. How I want to be positioned for the people to know that if I went through this same thing, but I didn't get scarred by it. I
Yeah.
don't know if that makes sense. I'm sure in the conversation we can be able to talk more about it. I'm also looking at time as well. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Bayode. Ms. Tura, I would like to also hear from you on how professionals can protect themselves from corrupt requests from their boss without becoming, isolated or labeled at their workplace. What practical examples can practical solutions can you give them?
Okay, thank you so much, V, for that question.
Yes.
I would not want to overflow what Bayode has said. I come from a very modest family background, and one of the key things that my parents has imbibed in me is integrity. If you do something, say that you do it, even if you're going to face the consequence. It helps you to sleep better at night. So one of the key things that has helped me even in my adult life is this action you're about to take, this decision you're about to take. Does it make you sleep better at night? Does it give you a clear conscience? And I think that's the first thing as human beings that makes us to judge between what is good and what is right, what is good and what is bad. So if I am in a position where my boss wants me to do something shady, but they are not expressly saying it, there is nothing like too many questions. You can ask questions where you need clarifications. So you're not just making assumptions like Mr. Sojita Bampa said in the write-up. Some people would intentionally leave out certain details because they want you to make it up yourself. They are not telling you to forge the signature. They are not telling you to remove that document. They're not telling you to erase something. They're not telling you to alter a document. They will say it in a way that you are also assuming, oh, is my boss trying to tell me to alter this document? Is he trying? So if you're in that position, first of all, the thing you should do is ask question. And when you ask question, I mean that you are not cocky about it. You are not rude about it. You are coming as professional as you can. And then if the boss is trying to prove like, oh, you are overstepping your boundaries, or you're chewing more than you can swallow, you can be very diplomatic and tilt towards the health of the organization, towards the interest of the organization. So I think that what you're asking me to do, I didn't get enough clarification on what you're asking me to do, but as I see it, this is how I see it. If this is what you want me to do, I think it's going to affect the organization. in the next 2 years, in the next 1 year. Let's look at it from that aspect. So I think it's also going to affect your reputation. Why don't you let us do it this way? We'll face the consequences maybe for a period of 3 months, and then we'll be done. But our integrity is still intact. So I think that being diplomatic and not being cocky and expressly asking questions where you need clarification. So you're not just assuming and thinking from the top of your head that this is what your boss is trying to tell you to do. Because in the end, if you come off as, oh, I thought he asked him, I thought is not a statement. It is your personal conviction. I think is not something that holds water. So asking expressly for further clarifications when you are giving instructions that you think that does not sit well with you is one way to bypass all of this kind of situation. So that's
Yeah.
my stance.
Okay, fantastic. I believe I hear very practical solutions. In the article, it also says you can first pause and just name what is happening, okay? Before you react, you can take a mental step back and just answer some questions in your mind that can help you decide what course of action are you going to take after that shady request. You know, you can ask yourself, what am I being asked to do? Am I hiding facts? Should I backdate this? You know, should I skip approvals? And what could go wrong if this blows up? You know, like, are you going to be facing legal claims? Are you going to harming clients? Are you going to be risking the reputation of your organization? Is this going to, you know, cause a scandal and all of that? And you have to ask yourself, what is your role in this, you know? And going back to what Mr. Bayede said, you have to also look back at where are you coming from? What are your values? You know, so make sure you use all of these things and clarify the instruction. You can push it back. You can, you know, you can document it via an email just to safeguard yourself. Okay, protect yourself without starting unnecessary war. That's, you know, I believe Mr. Pampa explained that very, very well in the article. So I wanted us to also remember that bit of it. So to Mr. Pampa, I would like to ask a very good question concerning this article. So, what recurring workplace patterns motivated you to write this article? And what patterns have you consistently observed among young professionals when faced with an ethical dilemma that came as a request from their boss?
Okay,
Yes, sir.
First, let me thank Bayode and
Yes,
Ms. Tura for coming on this podcast. I
yes,
really don't take it for granted. Thank you, because I can see you're both in cars and you're
yes,
both very busy people. So thank you for making our time to be with us. But
absolutely.
straight to your question, they've
Yes,
both talked about the need to reflect,
yes.
and on what you're going to do and so on. But let me talk about the scenario. Now
Uh-huh.
in Nigeria,
Mhm.
we have a situation where your regulator doesn't scare anybody because they don't ask you how you make your money. So long as the dues to the regulator are paid,
Yes.
you can even steal money and pay your taxes on it. They will not disturb you. Nobody seems to ask you how you make your money. That's number one. Number
Mhm.
two, even the clients are the ones putting you as a professional under pressure to cut corners. You hear, I need a lawyer that knows the judge. Or you hear, I need someone, an accountant that knows them in the tax office. When you hear that kind of claim, what does it say to the senior professionals? The senior professionals whose firms are getting ahead, at least in the short term, seem to be the ones who can live up to these client expectations.
Uh-huh.
So they are now socializing younger professionals into what is wrong, which is what Bayode says he doesn't want to do because he
Yes.
knows where he's coming from.
Yes.
It's also what Ms. Tura is saying. You need to know very clearly where you're
Yes.
coming from. But this is
Absolutely.
societal pressure. And the new
Mm-hmm.
values in our society seems to be get rich and get rich quick.
Quick.
That's it. So long as you are rich and you have all the trappings, you will have the respect that you're looking for. So, having seen all of this, now
Mm-hmm.
putting myself in the shoes of a young professional, what will I
Yes.
do? I've just come in I'm just building my career. I've seen what my seniors are doing. Do I follow them or do I stand up for what I believe? I'm in a dilemma. So how do I
Absolutely.
resolve that dilemma? And I'm saying the resolution is simple. Just make sure that you can reflect on what is being said,
Yes.
clarify what is being said, then maneuver yourself into a place where you cannot be roped in. So protect yourself and then decide what is your bottom line. What is the red line you will not cross? Finish. And the rest is what Biodate described as a diplomatic response, because you can ask, how do I do that diplomatically? That's
Yes.
it. That's it. So over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Pamper, for that enlightening input. I'm just going to go back to Mr. Bayode for a follow-up question, right? So why do you think vague language is commonly used to push these, ethically questionable, requests? Why do they use this vague language downward? And how can this be decoded by newbies so that they can protect themselves? So many people are young, navigating the workplace as newbies, and they may not really catch it because the language is vague. So why do you think this language is used, and how can newbies protect themselves?
Thank you very much for that question, V. The truth is that, as a cultural architect myself, I mean, this is something
Yeah.
that, it's not even something that is very popular. And that's because in the world of social engineering, right, the human mind wants to be captured. Literally, everybody literally is looking for ways to capture the
Yes.
human mind. A marketer is doing the same thing. A movie producer is doing the same thing. Mark Zuckerberg, of Facebook, internet, Google, and the likes, all of them, everybody is doing the same thing, trying to capture the human mind to be controlled. It happened in the era of slave trade. They captured our choice and our options, and they were controlling that. They realized that the human caught up with them and realized that, oh, no, we were saying no to slave trade, we're saying no to that, and then rebellion happened, right? And then when rebellion happened, they said, okay, because since we captured their choices and their options, obviously they caught up with us, and now they've rebelled. Now, how can we still capture them? You see, they went ahead again and say, okay, let's give them the power of their choices. So you see things like, oh, to fight for your vote, chase your vote. It's your power of choice. If anybody die for your vote, do ensure nobody is able to take your vote. They give you the power of the choice, but they take a stake in every of your options in such a way that at your highest level of choosing, you are
Right.
choosing their options. And you see, what's the power of your choice when you're choosing between three fools? You say, I like Toyota, I don't like Lexus. It's the same company. I like DSTV, I don't like GoTV. It's the same company. I like Tree Crown, I don't like Picnic. It's the same company. The power brokers camp around our options and then gives us the power of choice to choose. So whenever we are choosing, we are choosing them. And it's the same engineering that happens when people use vague words. The idea is to capture the human mind, and because the human mind can be very simple, we just want to be, humans can be, we just want to be very simple, and we're in a complex world. I tell some of my friends that we can't be too simple for this complex world. People want to look for ways to just capture you and put you among the masses. And because we are not consciously using our minds, a lot of the times what's the word? We give the power to our subconscious and respond with just subconscious. Maybe we grew up from a family that is very broke. At the chance where you are saying something that will give you more money, our conscious mind is not working. The subconscious lack just responds to corruption easily and just say, so will I see 10% from this deal? Oh, okay, let's go. Let me quickly sign. Let me quickly sign. Not thinking of consequences, and that's not our mind. That's not our fault. It's just that we sublet our decisions to the subconscious, and the subconscious takes over based on our predominant thoughts. Now, people use these vague words to capture our minds, and they used to capture us and say, and just because they know that most based off on the masses will normally respond like this. So it's a word already being used before. It always works. So when you use it, it will definitely work. But the
Right.
moment but the moment we are able to take a pause, just take a pause and think about, and a lot of things it happens. See, this problem is not the root cause is a lot. There's a lot of foundational errors in such a way that when you are thinking about a decision to be made, we always live in the present. We live in we don't think of the bigger picture. We don't think about of the future. And living in
Right.
the present will just allow us to make decisions of the present. But when we take a pause and look at everything, look at it on the bigger scale, what do I really gain from doing this shitty thing? From this vague word that has just been used to, lobby me into doing something wrong. What do I gain? Let's say I gain money. Money is transient. I will spend it. You see,
Yes.
taking that moment to think of that first, and thinking of what is expedient, what will stand the test of time. In
Right.
that, if we are able to take a pause and focus on not what is transient, but what is expedient, I promise you, we such words will not just take shape, will not just happen in our minds. And they will not use
Yeah.
corruption, because corruption is already a word that the human mind has captured and has rebelled against. But there are new words that we have not yet, that our subconscious has not learned. Now, our
Yeah.
subconscious has learned corruption. Our subconscious has learned wickedness. Our subconscious has learned cruelty. Subconsciously, if I tell you you are a wicked person, you will rebel. But if I tell you something in a way that your subconscious has not learned it, you will not know I'm telling you you are wicked. You will gallantly agree to that word. I can use some of the examples, right? But I
Mhm.
think what we just need to do is take ourselves out of just being a casualty, and
Right.
take a moment and take a pause to use our conscious mind while we are living and engaging. Because sincerity, like I say, is not a factor of production. Nobody will say that because I am sincere, you will not go to jail. People are sincerely in jail. People are
Right.
sincerely robbed. People
Mm.
are sincerely beaten, flogged. So, like Mr. said, sincerity cannot cut it. You have to be consciously aware of the
Right.
decisions you are making and the consequences at it. Now, when you don't look at
Absolutely.
your consequences and the decision, and you feel like, oh, jail is not a bad thing. My father probably went to jail. It's not a big deal. I don't mind going to jail. Fantastic. You are entitled to your decisions and the consequences, but don't make a decision that will lead to a
Mhm.
consequences you have not thought of. That will be
Right.
foolishness.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Bayode. That's absolute context you've given there. Thank you so much for your contribution. I'm just gonna go to Ms. Tura. Um, Many professionals fear being labeled as difficult. You're not commercially minded, you're too rigid. So, how real is the risk of career stagnation when someone pushes back on questionable instructions from their boss? Mr.
Okay, thank you so
Yes,
much, V, for that
yes,
question.
you're welcome.
Um, if I get you correctly, you are saying that for employees who come off as, oh, I have integrity, they are usually seen as very rigid. They're usually
Yeah,
seen
and
as
difficult.
this one does not understand this industry. Oh, he or
Yes.
she's going to learn the hard way. So for
Yeah.
personally, I'm big on where are you? Where are you going? And how are you going to get there? So whatever you do to get there is what will sustain you when you get there. If you get there by corruption, what will sustain you there has to be
Right.
corruption. If you got there by merit, what will sustain you there will be
Mhm.
merit. So either
Absolutely.
ways, what you do to get there is what matters. It's not even the journey itself. It's how you did during the journey that will
Right.
matter. So if
Mhm.
somebody sees you as a very difficult person, as a professional, it's either two things. It's either you are the one who is maybe you have the problem, or the person that is claiming that you are difficult. Is either two ways. Is either the person that accuses you of being rigid, or you're actually rigid. So if they come across and say, oh, get this done by Friday. I don't care how you do it.
Right.
It can mean that do all your best to make sure that we get this done by Friday. And it can also mean that do all that you can, professionally or unprofessionally. I just want
Right.
results. So
Mhm.
either ways, they're using vague words to tell you to do stuff that you know that are not actually right. But the onus is on you as a professional to clarify, what do you want me to do? And I know that the Nigerian context, that, oh, you can't talk back to elders, you can't talk back to people who are your bosses. No, it is not talking back. It is just a place of clarity. That's when they say you are difficult. That's when they say, oh, this person, I can't work with this person. I don't understand that. I don't understand him. Sometimes it's because your values do not align. If it is a
Right.
boss that has known corruption all their lives, how they got there was by corruption. They expect that everybody has to be corrupt. Everybody
Right.
under them, as they don't understand any other thing. So also it stems from a place of value. If your value is corruption and you don't have a place for integrity, you don't have a place for transparency, you don't have a place for accountability in your life, you just do things haphazardly because there's nobody to question you or put you in check, there is the chance that anybody that comes under you and the person has accountability, transparency, they have integrity, there's a higher chance that you will struggle to work with them because your values do not align. And that's when they will say, I want you to do this thing. Oh, do we need a copy for it? No, we don't need a copy, just send it. And you're the type that makes photocopy of everything just for records purpose. But they are the
Right.
type that just do things haphazardly because they don't want anything to be traced back to them. They don't want
Right.
to be in problems. So that's when you find out that, oh, the junior professional is being rigid. I can't work with the person. If you go deep down,
Right.
you realize that the basic things that are causing dissent between them is because their values do not align. If you work with somebody that likes to cross their T's and dot their I's,
Yes.
that kind of professional would thrive because there is somebody ahead of them that is doing something similar to what they are doing. They can see a mirror of possibility, but there is already a problem if the mirror of possibilities that we see in the society now believe that you can do anything and get away with it. You can do
Right.
anything at all as long as you're in the corridors of power and get away with it. So they see anybody that comes into their space as threat, asking for accountability, asking for transparency, asking for the basic things that that human values, but they don't rate it because that is not what got them there. Corruption got them there, so they're going to stick to what got them there. So I think that's my position.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Mr. Opampa, would you like to jump in on this one?
Certainly, I'm going to think about that for a long time. What got you
Okay.
here? What got you here? Because what got you here is what's going to keep you here.
Right.
That's terrible for a young professional who comes in by merit and then throws away what got them there and picks up another thing to get to the next level using the wrong thing. They don't know they're now following a new path that they will have to keep to, and it's harder to come back to where they were originally. Wow. So we run the risk if we don't sound the alarm early enough for people to recognize, as you said in the beginning, all the euphemisms. Egunje spoil nothing, and we say, at all, naim bad. So even the person who's asking you for a bribe will tell you, at all, naim bad. Just drop something is what it means. No matter how small, it doesn't have to be big.
Right.
All of those things, after a while, make us feel very comfortable. As Bayode would say, it
Yes.
colonizes our minds. Our minds get captured by those things that it's not a big thing now. Egunje spoil nothing. It's only a little appreciation. We're just appreciating him, And when you say that, I hear now, according to a senior advocate of Nigeria, that sometimes a judge is saying, appreciate them in the registry, in the
Right.
registrar's office, appreciate them. That even at that level, The language is changing. So who are you as a young lawyer? If the judge is directing you to appreciate them, for you not to then also try to appreciate them. And then they tell you it's our culture now. It's what we do. You don't go to the king's house without a small gift. And I think they're both on track
Right.
in the things. I totally support what they've said. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Pampa. I would like to go to Ms. Tura again, and then I'll connect Mr. Bayode on this one. I want to paint a scenario. So when a manager, for example, controls appraisals and promotions, how can a young professional raise concerns without, appearing insubordinate? In that culture where your boss is always telling you to do something shady, how do you place yourself in a position where you will not be bypassed during appraisals and promotions?
Okay, so I think that this is the part where um showing your work really matters, because if you are working in a place where your work and what you do often, it is very easy to raise you off even from important things. And that's where people who want to do you bad will come through. That's where they would actually happen to get to you, especially when they want you to do something bad. And they realize that, oh, there's no track record of what this person has done to even say, oh, let's retain him, let's retain her in the organization. And I think that's one of the things that the youths of nowadays are doing. Anything that you're doing at your place of work, ensure that there is track record. Ensure that you keep tabs with your supervisor that this is what I've done in the space of a period of time. So even when they want to table your matter in front of other directors, there is somebody that is likely going to speak up for you, and there is somebody that is likely going to have your back and speak for you. So that's my take. And then be known for something. If you are not known for something, you fall for everything and anything. So if they know that you are a very trustworthy person, it's hard for just one person to say that you are not. It's going to be very hard.
Right. Okay, I love that contribution. Absolutely. Mr. Bayede, jump in on this one.
Yeah, thank you. I think that number one, the goal is not to appear wicked. The goal is not to appear, I'm a good boy. I don't. That's not the goal. The goal is to ensure that you do your job, but be known for, like what Mr. finally said, be known for something. That I am
Yes.
not just going to do. Doesn't mean because a lot of time we miss out on this. That because I don't cut corners, I'm no longer sociable. No, it doesn't mean that I'm still not sociable, because that's where the problem comes in. That's where the appraisal issues come from. That's where the witch hunting starts from. Because you
Right.
feel, because I told you that I called something out. I said that, for instance, we're a team of internal control people, and then in the organization, this review is meant to go through these particular desks before it gets
Yeah.
to final approval, and then
Yes.
we all agree and say that we're agreeing, and like, no, that there's no need, there's no, let's rush it, let's send it for final approval. It's okay. And then, because I said that no, it's okay if you guys agree that it will pass through you don't want it to pass through your desk, but it will pass through my desk, and I will review it, and I will
Yeah.
go through it, and I will go through my corrections, and I will put
Right.
my corrections in before I send. Now, because I made that decision, a lot of times what we do is that we now move what we made official to make it personal. So because I said that I'm not going to do that, then the rest that did it, the rest people have become evil. Now we'll be missing out. We'll be passing the test of integrity, but failing the test of being sociable. It doesn't take away your relations with people. We should still
Right.
laugh afterwards. It wasn't personal. It's just my values. Right? It wasn't a personal thing. I shouldn't now start to hate you. The funny thing is that before the witch hunting even starts with you, you already
Yeah.
even started itself. You started it not wanting to smile with them. You became the person that don't smile anymore. You became the person that is now that you're dressing self. You're dressing they can already predict that you are not one of us, right?
Right.
It should not translate into that. I should still dress normal. I should still wear my face cap. I want to wear my face cap. I should still shake you. I should still hug you. But you should know that Bayo will not bend for this thing, right? No, we're eating where they say get together. We're eating our get together. I'm doing my job. I'm still a person of value. I still offer value. I still do things the right way. I do things, and this are different definitions. Number one, there's definition of passing the test of integrity, like I said earlier. There's passing the test of excellence. There's passing the
Yes.
test of being valuable. That I pass the test of integrity does not mean I'm excellent. That I have integrity does not mean I'm excellent. And I have
Yeah.
integrity does not mean I'm a good leader. And I have integrity does not mean that I cannot I relate to people greatly, right? So while we are also trying to ensure that we have integrity, transparency, discipline, we should ensure that we don't miss out on the other definitions as well, like
Right.
excellence, like the different things. We know them. Ensure that you are passing the test across board. You are being that my parents call the A child. You are that A child that they hate you. Like an example of someone that I will like, that I will say, that I mean, is Bonner Boy. It's a Bonner Boy. We don't like Bonner Boy. I personally don't like him because he can be puff. He can be a bit quirky because I'm African giant. Nobody's bigger than me. But you cannot question his craft. It's too good, right? It's too good. That's the kind of person that we should be. We should be that person that he will not bend, and we cannot remove him again because he's too good at the same time, right? So if we can pass that test, I promise you, in appraisals, they will appraise you. They will with anger appraise you 100%. They will use with frowning face, they'll be frowning their faces and scoring you great scores because they know they cannot do without you. I've worked in places where they didn't really like me because I'm that person that first it's very difficult to even to alter my ideologies. It's very place, right? To change my values. It's difficult to change it because I know what you are trying to do that
Right.
you are not seeing, right? So it's difficult to first alter that. So and I'm too good. I don't snap rubbish, and I say it a lot. I don't snap rubbish. I don't do rubbish videos. I don't do rubbish content. I don't do rubbish work. I do my work well, right? So the people will appraise you well because of your work, even though they don't like your guts, they don't like the way you do things. But we must ensure that we don't transfer our credibility of integrity and expecting that it translates into other things. No, we are going to tick all the boxes across board. As we have integrity, we should be excellent. As we are excellent, we should be diligent. As we are diligent, we should be committed in such a way
Yes.
that we will not be faulted in any way. I think when we do that, our prison will be great.
Wow. Fantastic. Yes, I love that response. Thank you so much. I hope we are all learning. I hope that we are still in the conversation. Kindly make sure that you also, talk in the chat box so that we know that you're following us in the conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Bayode. So I want to ask Ms. Tura a question, and then I will finalize with Mr. Pampa. Um, so in a scenario, if a manager refuses to put a questionable instruction in writing, what is the next safest professional step? Let's say you have already decided, okay, let me backdate this and put it in writing so that they can clarify, yeah, what they meant by that shady instruction they gave you. And they refuse to reply and they choose to either go on WhatsApp or give you a call or have a verbal conversation that is not recorded. What is the safest next professional step?
I would say that from the beginning, always put everything in writing. Always put everything in writing. Don't assume by word of mouth that somebody said something and you have to accept it. Always put anything in writing, especially your mails. That's what is going to protect you from any
Right.
occurrence like somebody, indicting you or putting you in trouble. So I think always put everything in writing.
Yes. Okay. So put it in writing. Even when they don't respond, when you have that verbal conversation, go back to that email and put it in writing. I hope we are all learning, guys. Okay, Mr. Apampa, I have a follow-up question for you. And this is, at what point does staying in a compromised system shift from a demonstration of resilience to overexposure?
Okay. Yeah, Mistura has to go now. So let's release her first of all and thank her
Okay.
very much for the
Yes,
time she has spent with
Thank
us.
you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, sir.
Mistura.
It's my
absolutely.
pleasure to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Okay, and we're rounding up. Anyway,
Yes.
just to mention that, you know, if you don't follow the advice that BioDay has given, which
Uh-huh.
is that just because you do not agree with something, then you allow other things to fall apart. Like you
Right.
get to a situation where you are not being professional, you're not focusing on your work to continue to be
Yes.
excellent, and so on. You can outmaneuver yourself.
Right.
You can outmaneuver yourself and find yourself in a position where your position is no longer tenable, where
Yes.
you are now the outcast and the outsider.
Yes.
Because not only are you not following what they're doing, you're no longer giving your best. They're just waiting for you to fall on any of those things, and you know that you're out. You will know
Yes.
it yourself that you will
Yes.
need to leave. But let me
Absolutely.
just maybe end on a positive note.
Yes.
Um, I was brought back to be the MD of a global company in
Right.
Nigeria.
Right.
And when I knew that I could not bribe and I would not bribe. I knew I had
Okay.
to be more strategic and
Mhm.
give more foresight into what I was doing than anybody else, any of my
Yes.
competitors. So I
Yes.
made sure long before there were any projects that I was doing things to build relationships with potential clients,
Yes.
uh, finding what will work for them. Things like if I know there's a conference going on in India, I'll bring it to their attention. Oh, did you know this conference could actually be good? So I was the person who helped them to see all the things that they could benefit from. If there are free things, if there are grants, I'll be the person to bring them in contact with all of that. But
Right.
from the beginning, they know, and I wear it on my sleeves, we don't give, we don't take.
Mm.
So after a while, I got to a situation where I'm rushing to respond to a bid. They say, Oga, maybe that one is not for you. And I understand the code that their
Yes.
bosses already, it has an owner. And
Yes.
sometimes I'm hearing, well, we don't know the work of God. I know it's for anybody. It's open, free, competitive bidding. So they
Right.
saved me a lot of heartache. I had fewer
Right.
things to bid for, but the things I bidded for, because of our quality and professionalism, we actually won those ones. You don't have to win
Right.
everything. So it
Yes.
is possible in this environment to do well by doing the right thing. And
Yes.
that is the mantra of a member of the integrity generation. Do
Absolutely.
right, do well. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Pampa. Thank you so much. Thank you. Those contributions have really been of help in today's discussions. I just want to thank the panelists once again, Ms. Tura, who has just left the conversation, Mr. Bayode, and Mr. Apampa. Thank you so much for those insights and those nuggets that will help us all navigate our careers without, uh, without difficulties. My key takeaway is just be street smart. You don't have to be the hero, you don't have to be the loser, but just be street smart. Use strategies that will help you survive because the workplace, business environments are full of sharks. So it's either they will eat you or you try and survive and be alive and still have a stake in the work that you're doing. Absolutely. So thank you so much to our panelists and to all our participants. Thank you so much. I can see that you introduced yourselves in the chat box. Let me just see some of your reactions. Have you enjoyed the conversations? You can just go to the react button and let me see your reactions. And also, if anyone has any comments, we would take it at this point, or any question, we will take that at this point. You can ask it in the chat box, or you can just unmute and ask. Yes, I can see all of your reactions. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, any question from our participants? I see no, I can see, okay, that was not a hand raise. You can raise your hand. Bolanle Musa, would you like to ask a question? Or it's just a thumbs up reaction?
That was a thumbs up.
Okay, so if we have no questions, I'll just ask our panelists that are still here to just give a quick parting shot, and then we can call it a day. Mr. Bayode.
I don't think he's with us anymore.
Okay, he has left?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've given my parting shot.
Absolutely. And I've also given my key takeaways. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We do this bi-weekly. So kindly follow us, Integrity Organization, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and Instagram as Integrity Organization, and as well as X, formerly known as Twitter. And you will be able to see our next podcast, the dates, and all the panelists that will be joining us. So thank you so much. I have been your host, V. Oko. Until the next podcast, thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you.